About to start. Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahümme allimna ma yenfa'una ve enfa'na bima allamtena ve zidna ilma ve erinel hakka hakkan ve rzuqna ittiba'ah ve erinel batila batilan ve rzuqna ictinabe. La havle ve la kuvvete illa billahil aliyyil azim. Rabbena atina fid dünya haseneten ve fil ahireti haseneten ve qina azabennar. Rabbena ighfir lena ve li valideyna ve lil mu'minine yevme yekumul hisab. Rahmetike ya erhamer rahimin. Rabbena atina min ledunke rahmeten ve heyyi lena min emrina raşeda. Rabbi la tezerni ferden ve ente hayrul varithin. Rabbi ij'al hâzel belede âminen ve cunubni ve beniyye en na'budel asnâm. Rabbi ij'alni mukîmes salâti ve min zürriyyeti. Rabbena ve tekabbel du'a. Rabbena heb lena min ezvâcina ve zürriyyatina kurrete a'yunin vec'alna lil muttaqîne imâmâ. Ve sallallahu ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etba'ihi ve sellim velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Amin. Inshallah, we are going to start the name of God, divine name, all just, El-Adil in Arabic, but we would like to hear Anne's reminding us what we have discussed last week and get ready for today's discussion, inshallah. Please, Anne.
Thank you. So last week, we started the second point, but we really didn't get into Nurse's text directly, but we had a very important foundation for it laid down. And these two names, Al-Qudus and Al-Adl, are two different names of God, but they are interestingly how closely related they are. Just to remind us of the first point with Al-Qudus, which can be summed up pretty much as saying that dirt is a disbelief and denying, and cleanliness is an essential part of belief. So, like a car, I loved this analogy. Like a car, our body is a car and the driver is the spirit. So the spirit is the driver, the body is the car. And if we dirty the screen on the car, we dirty our spirit. And when that screen gets dirty, we can't see reality. We can't see beyond the universe. So this idea of cleanliness is, as a part of belief, is extremely important. Similarly, the divine name Al-Just, Al-Adl, means the balance of things. And what does that have to do with cleanliness? It has everything, which we will learn today, everything to do with it, because balance means justice, and justice is achieved through or manifested through frugality and cleanliness. So we see that concept of cleanliness again. And we looked at Surah 15, ayat 21, and there is not, let's see, and whatever there is, its source is with us, and we only send it down with a well-defined measure. Um, and what this is saying is that um, the perfect order reveals that every transformation, every arrival, and every departure within creation is precisely measured and guided by a single all-seeing being. So that this idea of measure and being precisely measured, a well-defined measure, a pre-planned measure, um, and that is something I don't think we often associate with um, just. At least I didn't. Um, I thought of justice as okay, that's not fair, but just is actually a much more it's a much more comprehensible concept having to do with balance, not only balance in man's affairs, but balance in every aspect of the universe, which is going to be discussed in this second point. Um, and then we talked about how human nature is already created. I'm given a sense of cleanliness and justice. So even for non-believers. So why does God speak to us of something that seems so obvious? We already know this. But what we don't know, and hence the purpose of the Quran, is what does this mean? Why am I given this sense? Um, and Nerzi's approach is to look at the universe first and see how everything created is just. It's in balance, it's in well-defined measures. And that is through our own, we can see that with our own eyes. We can confirm that. This is in contrast to just saying, oh, God is just because it says so. But we need to be able, using Nercy's approach, to confirm this. And we do this by looking at the universe. So, for example, we witness the universe is just, then the creator must therefore be just. Um, and then we talked about an interesting aspect of the Quran itself, in which maybe Brother Murmur can elaborate on this, but my notes show that, ironically, believers in the Quran made people deny the Quran because it was presented in a wrong way. The wrong way is because it says so, versus Nercy's approach, which is to see the meaning in everything. Um, and that way we can confirm our belief. And so I think now we're probably ready to talk about the text itself.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think you are done.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm done.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you. It was a wonderful introduction to the subject, the name God's quality of being all just. Now, as you were summarizing the last week's introduction to the subject, as you said, we didn't study the text yet. We just look at the verse and talked as an introduction the importance of just, the name of just. Now, the most essential need of human being is satisfaction, perfect life, satisfaction, that is one category, and eternity, never-ending life. It means uh, we have to check ourselves and see that I don't want to die. I don't want to lose the good opportunities I have been provided so far, but I'm going to die. That is the most problem. That is the most common problem of human beings. Uh, and of course, if I die and everything finishes as my existence finishes and reaches the end, and that's it. There's no other considerations. I see that this word becomes meaningless if it was so. Uh, from one aspect, what is the point? Gaining, losing, end is zero. Lost, complete lost. What is the point in struggling in this world? That is one side of it. Another side, although the way the universe is created seems to be meaningful and well arranged. But how about human actions? I have a very strong sense of, every human being has, a very strong sense of justice, and we see lots of injustice going on in the world, and everybody dies equally. The point is, why are we here? There are lots of injustice going on in the world, and meaninglessly we die and disappear. It becomes pointless to try to be a nice person or as opportunist as possible you be. At the end, you will enjoy it. The other one will be deprived of his rights, and both of us will die and become equal. Pointless. It troubles human beings. So we discussed a lot about it last week. We said we have to be, we, we have to have an understanding. This point is important. According to the things are created well ordered, well defined measures, definitely in a just way, in the creation. But as far as human relationship is concerned, first, injustice is not uh, definitely solved. Everybody dies and finishes. For example, if a person uh, kills another person, now the one who is murdered, dead, finished. And we put the one who killed or murdered the person in prison. We say, okay, this is justice. Justice, what the person has died. And the other person in prison doesn't help this person, that person. He's lost his life. It doesn't recompense. Cannot make sense. It doesn't mean that we human beings shouldn't punish the murderer. No, even we have to do it because it will be an encouragement. If you don't punish the murderer, everybody can do anything because there's no punishment. In order to establish somehow peace in the society, the criminal must be punished. But it doesn't mean that the other person who lost his life has been compensated. Meaningless. As far as the dead person is concerned, we cannot solve this. But there's no solution. So there is a contradiction between the perfect creation of the universe, well adjusted, everything, but human life becomes contradictory to this reality. So, if the universe has a creator who arranged everything perfectly and created, why this creator allows the injustice among human beings? So if we say, no, there should be no allowance, if I want to transgress the right of somebody else, the creator should interfere and stop me. But if I am not free to use my free will to choose, it becomes another problem because I cannot choose if no one wants to lose his free will. And if I have chosen a bad option, wrong option, if I am stopped, my free will becomes meaningless because I have no option to choose the other worse option. Contradiction upon contradiction upon contradiction. How are we going to solve it? The author understands. First of all, let's be sure that the creator of this universe has a quality of just, to be a just one. Let us establish this. And then we will continue with if, that is important, if the creator of the universe is a just one, all just, everything he creates with justice. Everything he creates with justice. When it therefore, I am a part of this universe. I am created also with justice, and the sense of justice is given to me by him, my creator. Now it becomes complicated, but he created me with the sense of justice. If there is no justice, I react. I dislike it. I want to establish justice. Although I am free to choose injustice, but I know that I am doing something wrong. That is how I am arranged. But there is still injustice in the world as far as human relationships are concerned. Again, mind says, what is going on? How can I solve this? The author says, the one who creates the universe creates us with justice. Now, the one who creates you is the creator of the universe, who created you with justice. Your body, balanced, perfect, well-defined. Yes, everything is arranged bodily. Spiritually also, you don't like injustice. Your sensual side is also created with the sense of justice and dislike of injustice. Now we have to carefully think now. But I have free will to choose. I say, as a result of free will, I may apply justice, I may not apply justice, and I am free to choose it. At the end, we die, everybody becomes equal, but it contradicts the sense of justice. Uh, there must be a reason behind it because everything is arranged according to justice. Universe has justice. My body has justice. Manifesting. I am created with just uh, measurements. Just measurement. It means the creator is creating everything with just measurement. And he has given me this love of sense of justice and dislike of injustice. And at the end, we all die. I don't die by myself. I am giving death. If it is on me, I wouldn't die. I am created with the sense of not liking death, although I was given death. Definitely, I'm given death. Definitely. There must be wisdom. Only understanding that the creator of the universe must be a just one, I can understand that there is a seemingly apparent injustice temporarily happening in this world. There must be a court action. It means I am free to go out now in my house. I can go out with a knife. I am free. Or with a gun. I am free to go out with my knife or with my rifle or gun. And I am free to kill somebody. Am I not? I can kill. No one can stop me. After I kill, then people react and I will be caught after I kill. If I don't kill anybody, no one takes me to court. I am done at nothing. So after I commit a crime, police comes, catches me, takes me to court, and punishment starts. Right? Exactly the same way. I committed a crime here. Let's say which kind of crime that is different. Lots of ways of committing crime, killing somebody, stealing, insulting somebody, maybe insulting the creator. These are all crime. And claiming that what the creator has created for me, no, it is not his, it is mine. It is a theft. And God will say, that is my property. You claim that it is yours. No, I am allowing you to use it. For example, the owner of the house, let me use this house, right? Free. And I said, oh, there is no owner. I am the owner of the house. Owner of the house will kick me out from this house. Correct? No, it is my house. I'm being kind enough to let you live in it. The universe is my house, provided for me by the creator, owner of the universe. So I understand there, there will be a police catching me, putting shackles on my hand. I am a criminal, right? And taking me to court. In the court, they will decide, and accordingly, I will get my desert, whatever I deserve, right? Does it make sense? So after death, definitely there must be another creation where justice finally established. That is the only way, not the only way, there are other ways as well, but most essential way of understanding the necessity of the next creation. Without understanding that the creator of this universe has created everything with a well-defined, perfectly known, adjusted measure, perfectly adjusted measure, then I can believe in the hereafter, necessity of the hereafter. Did we understand this passage? Without understanding the justice in this world, you cannot believe in the hereafter. If you understand the justice, the creator is the just, you definitely conclude that there must be a court. That is why it is called Yevmiddin. Yevmiddin is translated as, how is it translated usually? The day of justice, day of reckoning. Why? Everybody has to get what he deserves. As we give the example of student in the university, everybody is free to study, not to study, but at the end there will be a day of graduation, whether you get degree or not, or you get degree according to your level of learning. That is justice. But during the education, students are free. Administration doesn't interfere, nothing, doesn't force anyone. Recommends, recommends. Never miss the class, recommends. But take has anybody taken you to the class to listen and be careful? No. Everybody is free, but there is a day of judgment, day of uh, graduation. Degrees will be distributed accordingly. Everybody's degree is different level according to its capacity. That is essential. That's why we have to understand that in the creation of this universe, we have signs that everything is well defined, well measured. That's one very important aspect of the study we are going to do. Another point that we have to understand, the universe is created, we all know that the universe is created with a balance within a perfect order. Yes, with a perfect order. But I don't know whether if anybody noticed or not, I rearranged the translation exactly how it should be. Translation, but not the commentary on it, explanation, translation. But the previous one, it wasn't really well thought about it. So today, this morning, I rearranged it. Now,
Oh, no wonder it's different than my notes.
yeah,
I was thinking, oh, what did I do?
yeah, that's I did because uh, Arabic text must be understood according to the purpose of the ayah, not only according to the grammatic structure of it, but the purpose of the verse ayah. So I reconsidered it; it didn't fit, and I worked on it this morning. So whatever there is, its source is with us. The speaker is saying with us. I'm not going to go into details why God doesn't say with me, but with us. These are unbelievable sensitivity of the language of the Quran. And we have to study it. This is a great subject, but we have to know Arabic and Quranic Arabic, of course, not daily Arabic. Now, people speak Arabic has no help in order to understand the Quran. So we have to know this grammar practiced in the Quran. So its sources is with us. It means we are the source of existence of every single being. We only send it down one by one, one by one. We call it creation continues in time. Excuse. Okay, I don't know what. All right. The created in time. Because the creation is taking place in time, we say, everything is well ordered and following it within a perfect order. Of course, this order has, I keep repeating this important point, space-wise, everything is well ordered, and also time-wise, continuation of the act of creation, again, well ordered. Now, send it down with every moment, everything, well-defined measure. With a well-defined measure. What does it mean? إلا بقدر معلوم. This Arabic text says. قدر well-defined. معلوم, measure, measure, but the literal meaning of معلوم is known. It means knowingly measured. Do you understand? If you don't know, you cannot measure. If you measure, you know what you are measuring. Correct? So it's going to be this way, it's not in that way, with these qualities, that qualities. You have to know what you are going to do. That's why, according to you, you adjust it. Put in a justice. What it should be. For example, a fly has lots of organs, members in its body. To function, to function in the best way. As a fly, not as a human being, as a fly. What it needs, everything must be legs, wings, eyes, nose, feelings, and also it must have the sense of defending itself, escaping, avoiding death, looking for food, knowing that I need food, and which kind of food I need. How can I get? It must be so minute. So I need to be given eyes. So minute things. I don't see, but a fly sees it. Because if I see it so minute as things, very small things, as a fly sees, I cannot live in this world. Everywhere is germs, uh, all the dusts in the atmosphere. My life is perfectly adjusted according to the life I'm going to live. And also, a fly's life is perfectly adjusted according to what it is going to live in this world. So, justice is established through knowledge. That's why Quran says ma'lum. Ma'lum is known. Something is known. So known measurement. But of course, well-defined means known. Because in order to define, you have to know. Right? So this, we must understand that. I, I will call you back, Lee, please. I'm now in the class. Thank you. I'll call you back when I am done. Thank you, Lee. He will stop. So I have to tell him now. So that is the second point. We have to pay attention. Without knowledge, justice cannot be established. Without the all perfect creation, well measurement, there should be no. It is to have order in the creation cannot be established. So creating within a perfect order is different from creating with a perfect justice. For example, you can put everything in the house in a order, but unnecessary things are put in an order in an unnecessary position, place. You see what I mean? For example, perfectly arranging everything in the kitchen, there should be in the kitchen, huh? Bring it into perfectly arranged way in the living room. Meaningless, isn't it? So justice is different from perfect order. Orderliness is not justice. Justice must take place within an order. Orderliness must be established through justice in order to be a meaningful order. Did you get it? Meaningful order. Now, for example, you can create, or the creator of the universe can create fly's body, perfectly arranged cells, but doesn't function. It is perfectly orderly created, but no justice, purposeless. That is one another point that we have to understand. Another point, yeah, I think we covered this. As I was listening to Anne's summary, I said these points are important. Without knowledge, justice cannot be established. Without justice, well-orderly creation cannot be meaningful order. And without justice, which is the result of knowingly creating, my existence, human existence, becomes contradictory. And without justice, understanding justice, we cannot understand the necessity of the next creation. Do you understand the chain of thinking? If you follow this chain of thinking, you can be perfectly comfortable in this world. Yes, injustice is happening. Yes, some people are harmed in this world, but there will be a court, although in some cases, for example, if somebody comes and steals my property, and that's a crime. So this person is caught. Judge passes the judgment and says, this person must be punished because he is a thief, right? He infringed into somebody's private life. Now, how about my property? He can return my property to me. Judge can decide. But in some cases, somebody killed somebody else, right? And yes, just can put the murderer into prison. How about the life of death man? Can just return life of death man? No, it is slow. Look, in some cases, we see that some cases cannot be compensated. In some cases, cannot be compensated. We have to understand this. That is why hereafter will be not only for those people who deserve to be punished, but also those people who has lost their right must be compensated. That is called in the Quran, punishment is hell, compensation is paradise. That's why paradise is extra. Your life is eternally given to you, and you will be rewarded because you were unjustly taken your life by somebody else. So these people must be, the person, the murderer, must be punished, and those people who lost their right must be compensated with a extra, how do you say, God promises that I will give you a much, much more better life in the hereafter. That's why in Islamic culture, paradise is described as mercy, extra, extra to what I deserve. But hell is not extra, exactly what I deserve. That's what Quran expresses it, explicitly expresses it. everybody will get punishment or for one for what? But those people who have done right actions and whose rights have been transgressed by others, we will give them immeasurably as a result of my mercy. More. You cannot imagine. So we understand why there is hell 1 to 1. It means one crime, one punishment. The proportion of crime, proportion of punishment is equal. But paradise is multiplied, but not given certain number. Multiplied according to the capacity of the merciful Creator's mercy. It seems to be injustice. No, there is justice. That's what we have to understand. I think we are ready to read now. What if there is no other comment on it? What do you think?
Yes, we should.
Okay. So we have to understand this, why the verse doesn't have the word adil. In the verse, there is no adil. There is no word al-adil. It means all just. But the author has chosen this verse. Why? Because justice is well defined. Everything is sent it down with, not according to, with a well-defined measure. إلا بقدر معلوم, بقدر معلوم. That must be emphasized. Whatever is created with a perfect, well-defined measure. It means knowingly adjusted. It means creator knows what he's doing, and definitely he is creating with what everything needs to be given, he gives. Every creature, living beings and non-living beings. All right. I am ready now, inshallah, to listen to the text.
Bismillah. While I was in prison, a point related to this verse and a manifestation of the name All Just, one of the 6 lights that make up the most essential name, became apparent to me from afar, much like the first point. To make this concept easier to grasp, let us illustrate it with a comparison. The universe is like a grand palace, but within it lies a city constantly undergoing destruction and renewal. Within this city is a country shaken by continuous war and migration. Within that country is a world endlessly turning between life and death. Yet, despite all this turmoil, an astonishing balance and harmony govern the palace, city, country, and world. This perfect order clearly reveals that every transformation, arrival, and departure within creation is precisely measured and guided by a single all-seeing being who oversees the entire universe.
Now, so far, what did you get from this text?
Essentially, we can observe world, in our environment, a constant turmoil. And yet, despite the turmoil, there's balance and harmony that are, I guess, overlaid on top of the turmoil so that maybe the harmony is not always seen. That's how I took this.
Mhm. The harmony is shaken by continuous war and migration. War
Mhm.
and migration, not only human beings warring with each other. I mean, my body is growing, growing, and then declining. My life is given, I'm very happy, and then I'm giving death. Whoa, destruction. What's going on? Migration. It means I am brought into this world and I am taken away from this world. Everything, not only me, everything. As we know that galaxies die, not only human beings die. Now the universe is potentially ready to die, the created like this. So there is no permanent justice happening in this world. We understand, we have to understand this. All this turmoil, but despite all this turmoil and astonishing balance and harmony, govern the palace, city, country, and the world. Now, what's happening now? We have to understand that this perfect order clearly reveals that every transformation, arrival, and departure within creation is precisely measured and, and guided by a single all-seeing being who oversees the whole universe. Now, everything is perfectly created, but life, death is perfectly arranged and perfectly created. We have to understand this. The one who is doing this must be a just one in his work. But the result of human actions and this, for example, I am given life, I am given the sense of loving life, living. I love to live in a perfect way. This creation is perfect within me, but it doesn't realize. It is not realized. I lose it. I lose it. At the end, I die. So we will understand that if I see in my creation now that the one who created me has created me with a perfect justice, right? Perfect justice. That is good. But at the end, I am giving death. I have to understand that if the creator is a just one, there must be something. There must be a wisdom in my death. I have to see that this one who created the universe is establishing his quality of all just, universe wide, everywhere, for everything, in everything. It means his quality of justice is absolute, infinite. So if he is infinitely just one and creates everything by knowing what he's creating, then if I am giving death, it doesn't mean that it is an unjust or injustice, unjust creation. There must be something. That is what we need to solve the problem. There must be something because everywhere is justice. But in one point, justice is missing when I die. So if I am absolutely sure that the creator is an absolutely just one, I can understand definitely my death is not injustice because I don't want to die. This sense is given to me by him, and still he gives me death. There must be a wisdom. It opens the door to understand that there must be another creation. Because he is not a crazy creator. There is no sign that he is a crazy creator. Gives life, like the simple example, gives the chocolate to the child, and the child just bites one and loves it, and takes the chocolate out of his mouth. What do you think? This person is sadist. Don't give it, or let it have it. You know that he needs it, right? So that is important. If I am given the sense of loving the life, and death is given, I have to see, no, if this person who gave me the chocolate, chocolate of life, desire for perfect life, he gave me this, if he is not a crazy sadist creator, there is no sign that the creator is sadist. You can look at his action. There must be a reason. There must be a reason. So this reason necessitates the next creation. Any more comment?
Um, I just want to say that it's something that I think we have to constantly remind ourselves because, particularly nowadays, um, it's hard to see balance and harmony. Um, I don't mean chaos is everywhere, but we have a particular form of government right now that seeds chaos and enjoys chaos. And it seems it's increasing. So I think it's we have to constantly remind ourselves about God being just despite all the chaos we see, because it's easy to conclude that that there's no justice.
Chaos is only in human behaviors,
Right, exactly.
in the universe. But human beings, as far as I am concerned, my chaos is very important in my life, as far as I am concerned. But I can see that there is no chaos in the universe. Everything is well measured, perfectly arranged. Billions of different kinds of living beings are created exactly how their life necessities require, they are given. So any creature, whatever you say, even the snakes are given perfect life. They are very happy as to be snakes. Now, any being, the clouds are very happy as to be clouds. Stars are very happy. Planets are very happy as to be a planet. Look at the moon. In its creation, there is no imbalance. Perfect arrangement. See every day, perfectly created. You can understand. But in human life, the human beings mess up with their life. So, sorry, long ago, Feriha wrote, I didn't have time to read it. Let's read and continue. Let's read Feriha's note and continue reading the text. So basically, if I don't see justice established in this world, that is evidence for me. Now, okay, let's put the sentence like this. If I see justice established in this world, that is the evidence for me for the necessity of an eternal justice. Yeah. If I see justice established in this world, it means this is an evidence that eternal justice must be established. by the same creator because he is absolute. His quality of justice is absolute, infinite, not limited, because the universe witnesses that. Okay, let's read this one. Thank you, Feryal. Good point. Yeah.
So let me continue.
Yeah.
Bismillah. For if it had been otherwise, if causes had been free and unrestrained, which try to destroy the balance and overrun everything, with a single fish laying 1,000 eggs, and a single flower like a poppy producing 20,000 seeds, and with the onslaught and violence of change and the elements flowing in floods, or if it had been referred to aimless, purposeless chance, anarchic blind forces and unconscious dark nature, the harmony of beings and balance of the universe would have been so utterly destroyed that within a year, indeed within a day, there would have been chaos. That is to say, the seas would have been filled with wreckage in total disorder and confusion and would have become stinky. The atmosphere would have been poisoned with noxious gases. And as for the earth, it would have been turned into a refuge heap, slaughterhouse, and swamp. The world would have suffocated.
Now, if we don't attribute the existence of this world to an unconscious, blind nature, uh, not a conscious being, just nature. Uh, I mean, not a conscious being with no free will, no knowledge, no to choose what he's doing. Then I have to I need to see that harmony and balance of the universe cannot be put perfectly like this. Accidentally, every endless number of creatures, every moment is changing accidentally. All of them becomes perfect position. But it is impossible to explain that uh, the universe been, it has existed without any conscious agent, creator, or source, the one who did it. So we have to understand that there is an harmony, there is a balance, but we see there are many reasons that the balance and harmony can be spoiled, destroyed. But it is not. It is not. There are many reasons why the accidental happening. Accidentally, everything can happen. But there is no accidental creation. Everything is perfectly measured. One day, uh, I was on ferry boat with somebody with me together. We were together. At the back of the ferry boat on the sea, the um, what, how is it called? Turning and then pushing the water.
Turbine?
Sorry,
Turbine or engine?
the engine. But come on, the ACs, the turn that. How is it called? No, no. I mean
Oh, propeller.
propeller. Propeller was working,
Yeah.
and of course the water is seems to be chaotic. And the person next to me was, a, I mean, a person who studied physics and the laws of physics. He said, if we could measure, you know, how the water molecules are moving, right? Because our comprehension of this change, we cannot really measure it. That's why we cannot calculate it. Otherwise, they are taking place in a perfect order. Not accidentally one molecule can move this way or another way. According to the force applied to it, it goes this way, and the speed of it is can be measured. They are all measurable, but our capacity is not enough to measure it. Otherwise, they are perfectly created or happening within a perfect order. There is no chaos in creation. Just we may be able to measure it, we may not be able to measure it. But every creation is taking place with a perfect measurement. So you cannot attribute the existence of anything as just chaotic. Happened to be like this. Perfectly measured. Everything, as the verse we studied stated today, the first verse. Let's remember it. Whatever there is, its source is with us. We know what we are doing. The Creator is speaking. And we only send it down, it means creates it with a well-ordered measure. Within the act of creation, there is a well-ordered measurement, knowingly arranged. We have to understand by looking at the creation itself, inshallah. So we know that something happens, but at the end, the order of the universe never changes. Always orderly creation is there. In winter, you said storms, but everything perfect there. At the end, we become spring now. And as, it was a preparation for the spring. Well ordered, well measured, and well defined. Any more comment? We can continue, inshallah, next week from here. What do you think?
Oh, yes, I think so. Otherwise, we'll go over the time.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة